know it.
Hey, what's going on out there, YouTube?
What's up out there, YouTube?
This is JVS.
JVS here one more time for the review, the spoiler review for Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Woo! So, I'm going to go ahead and read out a quick synopsis because this is the spoiler section. In the early 1960s, CIA agent Napoleon Solo and KGB operative Illya, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name, participate in a joint mission against the mysterious criminal organization which is working to proliferate the nuclear weapons.
Right on.
I feel like, Joe, that we don't need to have to go into the specifics of what happens in the story because it's a really generic story, but I feel like the interactions what I'd really like to spoil more than anything, because I mean, for us to tell the story, I mean, it's kind of pointless. Like, you know what I mean?
There's so much happens in this thing. Like, we couldn't cover it all anyway.
Yeah, but I love the interaction between Gabby, Solo, and Illya. Like, especially Solo and Illya when they first like kind of meet up, and like Henry Cavill was so clutch when he came in to her shop, like Gabby's shop, when she was kind of like posing to be basically a mechanic and whatnot, and he's kind of telling her this, that, and the other. I was like, this dude is so smooth. I was like, oh, so pretty, so pretty. And the way that he started picking up on stuff, he looked back, and then you see like somebody in the back for it, and I was like, okay, he knows, he's hip, you know what I'm saying? But then like how smooth he does is when he's in the car, just kind of sitting back, and he's telling her, like, is there somebody right next to you? And the tension is building. Like, this is an awesome scene. This is a tension builder. And I could tell, like, Guy Ritchie was all over this, because when I think about, like, Sherlock movies, like, that's how they kind of are. And when they finally get to the crosswalk, and they stop, and he tells her, he's like, is he looking at us right now? Does he have one hand on the steering wheel? And he's like, just say hum. And she said, And then she said, hum again. And then he was like, he said it so slightly. He was like, when you hear something that sounds like a gun, go. All of a sudden you hear pop, pop, and it just go out. And then from that point, it was so clutch.
Bro, that part right there, bro, like that joint, like was crazy, cause it happened so quick. Like it shocked me. I was in the movie there, like, oh snap, did he get shot in the head? Because like I seen the previews, I was like, I know he's in the movie, yeah, but they happened so fast you would think he got shot.
But the dude was just like this, like he knew that there was somebody there. He estimated it, moved out of the way, and this is the next thing that he says. He's like, I hope that he's not as fast with the car as he is maneuverability wise. And she looked back, and all of a sudden you see this dude just wheeling it. Yeah. And you're like, yeah, he kind of is. But then like there are certain scenes that like, I mean, they kind of get him under a barrel and they're still driving. She's like pulling the whip. Gabby can drive. She got them handles. But like, there's this one point where the KGB guy, like, he grabs a hold of the back of the trunk. And I'm like, this nigga's stupid. Like, what is he doing? But he had shot their tire first, and then he held on to it. And when he was holding on to it, it freaking had him holding on, but you could see his like feet like gliding. And then all of a sudden, like this dude just pulled it off. He pulled off the hood. I mean, not the hood, but the trunk. And then like they sped up because they were like, yeah, we're not gonna stop this. But this fool takes it and he chunks it. And I'm like, it's a really awesome scene because it's still in the air as they're still going, and you still see him running. And then all of a sudden it just hits. And I'm like, oh, this already is like a fun time for me. I like the whole entire movie. I kid you not. I was grinning from head to toe. Like I was literally like, wow, this is awesome. I mean, there are so many cool scenes in this movie that like, I mean, I'll let Joe like talk about some of his favorites.
Ah, yeah, man. Going from that first scene, where those two spies were actually literally trying to kill each other. Like, no holds barred.
You talking about when they were in the bathroom?
No, when they was driving.
Oh, okay.
They was literally trying to kill each other. And I was like, how in the world are they going to work together?
Yeah.
But progressing along in the movie, one thing that I enjoyed about the plot was actually pretty good. I mean, it was straightforward premise. You know, this organization that Sam mentioned had they're trying to develop. Well, actually, initially, Solo and the Russian spy, they're actually trying to locate, this scientist who can pretty much have this theory of pretty much mass reducing nuclear weapons. And they're trying to locate this guy. Now, he went missing. Now they're trying to find who, if he's just gone or somebody kidnapped him. And the scientist actually happens to be Gabby's father. So that actually is a pretty cool twist. I love this. I love the plot.
And then she ended up being a freaking double agent.
She ended up being the double agent, y'all. Which I did not expect till the latter part of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't either because when she was on the whip, I knew she was good. But then there was this one scene where at this point they kind of they had this altercation. They have to work together or else they're basically screwed because their organization are gonna basically throw them under the bus to an extent. But Aya has to pose as being Gabby's fiance or vice versa, and then Solo's job is to go and work in with getting undercover with somebody else, and their interactions as a couple is really romantic, but at the same time it's funny because their first interaction is she's being really annoying to him and being really overbearing, wanting to dance in front of him, drinking, and she smacks him. I'm like, this dude got a twitch. He's got a tick. There's something wrong with him. You know what I'm saying? They were talking junk. And Henry Cavill Solo, he's basically kind of describing him yeah, you have a mental imbalance. That's part of what's wrong with you. Based on traumatic things that kind of happened. Then he went up and talked about his mama, talked about his daddy. I was like, he's provoking this man. And I'm sitting there watching him just twitch like this. He's like, J-Lane. But when they had their altercation, she smacked him and she was kind of playing. She was half drunk. And then she was like, I want to wrestle. I was like, what's she talking about? They about to have, I was thinking they were going to just have sex or whatever. But she's legitimately attacking him. She's straight up just fighting with this dude. And you're just hearing boom, boom. And I'm like, this girl is buck. I'm like, what is wrong with her? She must be drunk. And that scene right there, I was like, okay, there's more to the Gabby than meets the eye because she had him pinned down. And I'm like, I just witnessed this dude pull a trunk off a car and chunk it back at them. It's something else. You know what I'm saying? He's highly skilled, very fast, but she was able to pin him down. Nah. So, see, of course, he draws attention to her and starts catching feels. And I like how that panned out towards the end of the film. Yeah. But there's a lot of things that happen. When Hugh Grant came up, and you see Solo's skills as far as being a thief and pickpocketing and stuff like that, and wheeling and dealing, because he runs into Hugh Grant's character and takes something from him. But Hugh Grant was so clutch. He was like, "Yeah, you need to give this back to me. I already knew what you did." I was like, "What? Ninja what?" He's on some other stuff, and you find out he is the person that is recruited Gabby to be able to do what she has to do. And I was like, that's so clutch, because every scene that he was in, he was so cool.
British intelligence.
He was so on top of everything that was actually going on. And I'm thinking to myself, I was like, they need to be working for him. They don't need to be working for the organization they got.
The dude was so carefree. You know what I'm saying? He was carefree the entire when he was briefing them. He was so carefree in the helicopter. And they were about to go on the mission. He was just he was in there chilling, laughing and making jokes. I mean, they don't even know, because Gabby had gotten kidnapped. They didn't even know if they'd be able to get Gabby. She was just yeah, y'all do what y'all gotta do, It's not cliche because it's nostalgic. Nostalgic in the sense that the old 70s and 60s espionage films, they just had that kind of swag and that determination, you know what I'm saying? When Sean Connery hit the scene, there was no desperation with Sean Connery. He might have put some work in, but he knew he was a G. You know what I'm saying? That's how Hugh Grant played it. That's how Henry Cavill played it. I think the Armie Hammer's character, because he was so disjointed, you could tell he knew his stuff, but at the same exact time he was so disjointed. It was I think that some people are gonna look at that well, his performance wasn't as good, but I think it was better. Or
just as good as like Henry's or Hugh Grant's, because like he's playing on different things that if they weren't there in the movie, I feel like the movie would have kind of become disjointed. Like if they hadn't showed like his imbalances, his differences, and like his tick that he might have, like I'm like it wouldn't have been, you know, as high a stake. I felt that, all honesty, when they were fighting each other, that there was more detriment there than the enemy that they were fighting.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah, like there was a torture scene that kind of happened. Like Henry Cavill was getting tortured pretty bad. But then the guy that they ended up torturing, like they set him on fire by accident. Like the dude got freaking so bad, he was smoking like some fried chicken. He was burning, smoldering. They were like, dang, I left my coat in there. You know, like these dudes, like they're so dangerous that I was thinking most of the movie, I was like, they're gonna kill each other. Like somebody is gonna get seriously maimed, killed, or murdered. But like, I mean, that was the time that I felt like I don't know what's gonna happen. But either way, I really enjoyed this movie. I definitely gave it a 8.5 out of 10. What did you give it?
I gave it an 8.
So Joe gave it an 8 out of 10. We really enjoyed it. Like I was in it, but I was having fun watching it. And that is one thing about a movie, that something like this, if you can enjoy it, it's worthy of having a sequel. So I definitely highly recommend you go and check out The Man from U.N.C.L.E. We're gonna go probably check out Straight Outta Compton, either if not tomorrow, maybe over the weekend. So check that review out. We're gonna have that a little bit later on. But thanks everybody for watching. Y'all are awesome. We're still waiting to get like a computer to be able to do edits and stuff like that. So until then, you're not gonna be able to get in transitions or anything like that. But for everybody, thank y'all for subscribing. This is JVS. We're out. Have a blessed evening, blessed night, blessed day. Deuces, everybody. And from Uncle. Yo, he was looking like Superman the whole time. You know that?